Sport Africa is the first and only digital sports media player.
Good morning and welcome to Inside SA Soccer, brought to you by Betway. And today is Blast from the Past, and I have with me Benni McCarthy. Benny, welcome to Inside SA Soccer.
Rajay,
How are we?
so lovely to see you. First of all, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been, remember, since 17 years old.
Yes, brother.
That's where our relationship.
Where we come from. It's.
And yeah, it shouldn't surprise me you using Benedict Sol.
I know you that way. I mean, you are here at home, of course, with Carling, promoting the Carling Black Label Cup. Just how has it been being here at home?
It's been really nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's just felt right.
Yeah.
To be home, to be ambassador role for Carling Black Label, a cup that I enjoyed winning when I was still playing.
Remember the beer cup, we called it back then.
Yep, when I was still playing, and just that sensation that it gave. And now to be able to help let other players experience that and have that feeling, what it's like, it's amazing. Like, Carling Black Label really is doing such a phenomenal job about trying to bring back our enjoyment as football as players, but by bringing back the fans to the stadium, so that we can get the best for South African sports. You know, by having full packed stadiums, and you'll get the best out of the players. So yeah, I'm enjoying my role as an ambassador for Carling Black Label during this campaign, and hopefully for many more years to come. It's important for our football.
Yeah, I mean, we call this Blast from the Past, and what we do here is we reminisce. And I you said 17 years, I look at you, what you've become, and my memory takes me back to 1996, 1997, when we used to travel in those kumbis to go training with Brashakes at the mines. When you played there and Brashakes shouted, "Benedict!" did you think it will get to where it has, who you've become?
Yes and no. Because why I said yes was the determination, the desire, the hunger, willing to sacrifice everything to make it as a football player has always been there. And at that stage, you were in full swing with your potential, where it can go. I was only going to fail if my mind wasn't strong, and if I had fallen by the wayside because I liked the nice things that I was starting to taste and experience, you know? And then when I say no, was what we had to go through. Like you said, you just mentioned there, the small kumbis, packed all up.
Of you,
we the desire that we would endure anything to make it, but was it really worth it to go through all that suffering for you to end up making it? Now I say it was well worth it, because obviously I achieved more than what I dreamed of. I could, but back then when you thought about it, it was just about being with the guys and being fun, and you didn't really think anything was going to come from it.
I mean, I remember that team, and the most incredible thing is you were not the best of that group. You played with so many talented guys, yet you went and made it as big as you did. What was the drive there?
I love how you said that, because I don't think people believe me when I said I was probably the 14th or 15th top player out of that 20-man squad that we had. You know, we had players with, I mean, they wake up in the morning and then you were made footballer. That's how talented they were.
I know.
You know? And me, it was just on pure heart. because nothing was going to stand in my way of not making it.
Yeah.
Nothing. So yes, I was limited with skill. I wasn't the most skillful player. I was limited with pace as well. I wasn't the quickest. There was players quicker than me.
Much quicker.
But I was just like, with what I had, I knew how to get the best out of it. So I would never undersell myself, because that was what I was good at, and that's what I stick to. I don't go beyond my needs to prove, because there was nothing I could prove, because it was just we had better players, better
around
talent around me. So whenever I was getting the opportunity, I would just put in performances after performances on a consistency basis, and I think that helped me, because I was someone that the coach could always rely on.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. The hardships that you guys went through. I mean, I'm sitting here just now. The big story in South African football is Bafana have played 3 international matches. They haven't been paid. It's an old story. You endured that. I mean, I was looking at your stats. You've played 79 times for South Africa. You scored 31 goals. But it could easily have been way more than that. You could have scored more. You could have played 100 times. But your battles with SAFA led to you even retiring. When you look back and you hear now that players are not being paid, what happens? What are you thinking?
Painful,
Very.
heartbreaking, because I thought we fought so that this generation now could be well off, that SAFA could be so much better organized and run. That's what we fought for, because now it seems like everything just went in vain.
Yeah.
That our fights, everything that we thought we could change, we could do better, all was for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not sure if SAFA is even any better off than what they were when we were there. You know, we had to fight exactly for the same things, money issues. It was always there.
Yeah.
But I think in today's world, with where we are in terms of investments, what companies invest in federation, into SAFA, into everything, that we can't afford to pay our players now 3 games in a row, and after the success that they've been having, it is sad.
It is. I mean,
It's sad, Brajay.
you know, think of it, Ben. In 1997, you guys went Africa Youth Championships with Bra Shakes. You guys reached the final. I know that you were not paid for that, even to this day.
To this day, I think I still hold a grudge. I still hold a grudge, because we were 16, 16 years old, 17 years old. Our careers and life was just starting.
Yeah.
Those money that we earned, that we played for, we fought for, was going to go towards buying your first car, putting a deposit together there to buy an apartment, your house, that where the hardship we had to go through. And that was going to contribute to that.
It's changing
and
lives,
they
really.
denied us. They ran away. They didn't have the decency to face young upcoming players and says that we're going through financial difficulties. When this changes, you're going to get that, instead of just
Disappearing on you guys.
disappearing and letting us make our mind up what was going on, and then live with that resentment, that a little bit of hatred as well, towards such a small thing. To them was probably nothing, but to us it was everything. That a small explanation would have probably changed.
Yes.
And now when I look back and I look at my career, and I'm asking myself, that resentment that I felt when I was that age because they did that, was that maybe part of why I had so much clashes and difficulties with SAFA? Was that the start? Because, you know, when you're a kid, you never forget when someone do something terrible to you.
Yes, yes.
So there's always that, and it scarred you. So yeah.
I think the sad thing about that, Benny, is in South Africa you were then seen as Benny is not patriotic because he picks and chooses the matches he wants to go to. He quits when he wants, and everybody read it that way. But the reality of it is what you are saying, that SAFA shortchanged you guys, even later on when you were in Bafana Bafana.
100%. I think people forget the organization is there. You a player. You must just pack your bags, get yourself ready, jump on that plane, fly back home, and then represent your people, your country. You don't want to fight about getting to airports, then you don't have tickets available, you don't have this. Now you must put out your hand in your pocket to pay and then fight to get everything back. And it was just time after time after time after time after time again. And there's gonna come a point where it's just like, you know what, this is not worth it anymore. It's like, why is it costing me so much? And the trouble that they put in your life is, and you know what, and when your club says no, they don't want you to go, then it becomes kind of easy to say, nah, I agree with you, because of just, you know, when you leave a happy place, you're just gonna come to a place where it's miserable, and you're gonna end up fighting with people over silly things, just about organization not being good. But yeah, when you are playing, you don't want to be the one to speak out, so you rather just keep quiet. So then when the information just comes from one side, then it looked like you really are unpatriotic and you don't want this and that. But I think somehow deep down, South African people knew really what was going on, but we didn't want it to believe that is our governing body that is doing that was organized and run in the way that it was. But now that you come back, and I kind of wished I was this mature and I was this experienced to know then that I had to voice my opinion straight away, because it would have changed the stats that I have. I would have definitely have probably played 150 caps for Bafana, and I could have been probably close to 100 goals, because that was the level that I was at. You know, and when you look, it's nice,
decent, but it could have been better.
For me, it's not satisfactory. It's not. I misrepresented my country, my home. The place I was born, where my roots were, I misrepresented them. They didn't see the best of me because of
the politics.
The politics that I had with
the SAFA. Let's take a break and we'll continue talking about this.
Brad Jakes.
Welcome back to Inside SA Soccer with me, Brad Jakes, brought to you by Betway, and I'm still sitting with Benny. He's still in the area. Benny, we speak of the challenges you had, but one of the things I know that what that did for you was to make you an amazing brother to the players that you played for. I know of stories where you have helped the younger players. Voyomere, for example, speaks so highly of you, of how when he came into the national team, you welcomed him and you would even share some of your, what do they call it, allowance. How did that come about, that you found yourself becoming a brother to the ones who came and found you there?
It was about giving our young generation that was coming through the proper opportunity we never had. So the difficulties that I faced to get to where I needed to be helped me. So I didn't ever want to see any player go through that. You know, now times have moved on. It became better from when we were under 16, under 17, under 20, the struggles that we faced. So now I was established. I was playing for top European clubs. I was established in my clubs, but I was financially also stable because I was earning a lot of money because, I was playing good football in the club. They needed me, they wanted me, so they were paying me whatever they needed to pay me. So I was earning good money. But when you come back to Bafana, it's still the same old thing. So now with the little bit of experience that I picked up along the way, with the young players that was coming through, you want them to have the best experience
in camp for the national team.
While they are national team, so that they can then aspire to become even better for their clubs. So playing for the national team, representing your country, becomes the best and biggest thing that you want to do because of your experience that you had. And I wanted these players to have that experience, not the experience I had when I was coming through. So that was where I wanted to be different, I wanted everyone to feel at home, comfortable, not come in there. It's like, these youngsters are coming there to take our place. You must be assured within your own healthy competition. Maybe these young players can make me also and become even better because they're pushing me. Instead of thinking that let me be nasty to them, let me make it unpleasant for them, just so that I can have an easier time. So I didn't want it to be like that. So when the young players would come, the senior players, which I was still a young player, but because I've been in Europe for that long, and then in the Bafana you kind of are looked at as a senior player now. So you always wanted to make them feel at home and welcome, and the hospitality is amazing. That I want to be part of that Bafana squad, that we always that we always have the best players around us. And when we were getting 5,000 rand a day or $1,100 or whatever, I was okay financially. I was okay off because I was earning playing in Europe. So I invested and had well. So for me, that was just my family is also looked after. So for the younger players, I know what it means. So I would always just share it amongst them, or give it to the physios, the fitness coach.
I hear that you once said to Trot, take it, you need it more than I do. You said that to the coach.
Just a fighting. For me, it was always just about if they're fighting for it, but it's okay.
But I mean, there's something you once did. I don't know if you remember. We were in Egypt, 2006. Mubarak Mohammed was the team. What do they call them? Team manager or something. And there was this. You guys he takes the players to eat, and he says you must eat up to this much because the budget is this. And you said to the boys eat as much as you want. I'll take care of it.
That was the teammate that I was, and why must we be representing our country? And we have to have a certain way. So you can't say we can't do this, you can't do that. If there's players that can, then you chip in. So for me, it was absolutely nothing. But the thing that annoyed me with that was just on the way they treated the players. How almost like which can in the team. So because you play local in the local league, PSL, and you've not been part of Bafana for long time, your contract is based on your caps. So if you coming as a first timer, you go, you experience Bafana, you play in the match, but then you go home with what? 50,000 rand. And then someone with 50 caps or 60 caps, and he doesn't even play, or he plays 10 minutes, he goes home with 250,000 rand.
That's crazy.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
Like, you do exactly the same training, you do the same work, one plays, one don't play, but one goes home with that amount, the others. So for me, that was just unfair. When we, at our clubs, you and your agent negotiate your contract. So whatever you negotiate for, you are happy with what you earn. But when you come to the national team, there's no negotiating, because I've had so many. We are one.
Yes,
so everyone gets the same caps, and you coming in with one cap, you earn what I earn. At your club is different. National team, we're all on the same boat. So that's what I fought for, and I got crucified for it because I wanted everybody to get the same. And some of the senior players voted, in fact, that yes, it should be like that, you know, and for me that was just not going to happen.
Yeah, you were, like I said, you played well, you were a great striker, but you then got painted in a number of times as this bad boy. We went to, what World Cup was that? 2002 World Cup in Korea, and there was, I don't know if you remember, there was a journalist from the Sunday Times, Buni Shunak, who wrote a story that you brought a girl to the to the camp, and there was that whole, I remember we were training and you guys would be throwing things at him. How you know, that relationship with the media, the association, just you being seen as this rabble rouser, how did you take that, and what did you make of that? I mean, you fought with the late Sipho Mthembu, just a lot of journalists, and just how was that?
I just hated being misquoted or misunderstood. You know, I was someone that when you are at the biggest stage, if you're not enjoying yourself, if you're not having fun, then there's no point of being there. Yes, of course, we will be focused, we will be hardworking, all that, but you must also have that smile on your face. If you don't, if I don't have that smile on my face, so, you know, and so I was married at the time. So I was married to Spanish girl. So so she came to the World Cup because I was playing in the World Cup. When do you get an opportunity? Your family or close ones are staying at home and not supporting you.
Have to be
so
there.
That's not me playing with a smile on my face. I want my family there. And that was it was my wife at the time.
Okay.
You know, so she came to the World Cup to support me, to support South Africa. And it was also because that we were in the same group as Spain.
I remember,
You know, so it became a problem that I had my
partner
there with me at the World Cup, wasn't staying in the same room. She was completely apart from us, but that became a problem. But for the senior players, it was okay for them to have their families, but because it was me, then it became such a big issue. And that's what I said, like when you are misunderstood, then of course you stand up, and I'm one of those of those people. If I am in the right, or if I'm not wrong, I will fight anyone. If I'm wrong, I accept and I understand and I hold my hand up and I said, yes, I made a terrible mistake, apologize for that. That is me. But not when it's one set of rules for some others, and one for others, not a chance, because we're in the same team, so we need to say everyone should be treated exactly the same. And that was the issue.
Now, Benni, you're coaching, you're looking, I mean, you spoke this week about you might go to the MLS and all that, and that's fine. Would Benni McCarthy years later come back and want to be a part of the South African Football Association to change? Because clearly things are not changing.
course, we were the pioneers of South African football. You know, we paved the way for this generation. We fought tooth and nails against the best in the business to make sure that South Africa is a force to be reckoned with. You know, on the field we can compete with anybody, and we want that back. So if people like myself, your Lucas Radebe, if we don't want to come back and be a part and help wherever we can, the national team, then I think this generation is going to get lost as well, because we can say what we want to. SAFA needs desperate saving. You know, there need to be major changes be made, and it needs to be run by people that understands the game, that knows football, not people that think that there's profits to be made. That's the biggest change. South Africa needs decision making from people that wants to see our football go in the right direction and be where it needs to be.
Benni McCarthy, Benedict Saul McCarthy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us here on Inside SA Soccer. All the best with your coaching endeavors.
Rajakes, thank you so much for having me, and thank you just for reminding me everything I've went through in my life to be where I am now, and you were a big part of when there was nothing.
I've seen it all. I've seen you grow up.
Thank you for that, and thank you for sharing all those memories with me and being part of that journey that I've been on. So it's been an absolute pleasure and honor, sir.
My brother, thank you.
Omnisport Africa is the first and only digital sports media player on the continent.